Finally, the CW's race for The Flash has reached its decisive stage. This week, it was revealed that Season 9 of the long-running DC Comics TV series will be its last. According to reports, The Flash series ends very soon, and the main character had some things to say about the show. It's been a long run, and things were quite emotional. I'd hate to take up any more of your time, so let's get right into the deets. First up, what was Grant Gustin's emotional response? The 32-year-old actor posted a touching Instagram video on Friday to thank viewers of the CW drama, which will end after its upcoming 9th season. It's heartbreaking to say goodbye to The Flash after 9 seasons, but we made the decision to end production this week, he said. Nearly 10 years of playing this character and working on this program with such a talented group of people have been an unforgettable experience, one actor said. He added, "The only reason we've been able to go this far is that we've had so much love from you guys, the fans, the people who adore the show." With the show's final season approaching, Gustin is excited to don the costume of the Flash once again. He has played the role since the 2014 premiere series. "I'm thrilled that we get to do this again, and I'm even more thrilled that we get to do it on our terms," he said. "I'm going to enjoy every second of it to the fullest," he said, "and I want to thank you from the bottom of my heart for supporting the show and allowing us to run as long as we have." As he elaborated, "I feel really fortunate to have this character attached to me for the rest of my life and career. This is without a doubt the highest of compliments. Thank you again for supporting us," he said. "I'm wishing you a wonderful last season. It's going to be fun to make. That much is certain. Really sad to see The Flash end. It's time to find a new show to love." Now that we are done with that, let's take some time to talk about every change Nora and Bart made to the timeline. Without further ado, let's get started. So, is Jay Garrick married to someone? In 2049, Jay Garrick is still around and in good health, but he is now married to someone else. Previously, Nora and Bart were taken aback when they arrived back in 2049 and were greeted by their honorary uncle, Jay Garrick, John Wesley Shipp, who had just returned from a trip to the store to pick up supplies for a family meal. The rumor-fueled Impulse's animosity toward the evil speedster Godspeed that Godspeed would kill Jay Garrick at some point in the future, so this news came as a complete surprise. However, the delight that the siblings had at the return of Jay Garrick in Flash changed to terror when he referred to Aunt Rose being late for a botany club meeting because she had other obligations. The two quickly realized that reality had been rewritten so that Jay had never met Dr. Joan Williams, Michelle Harrison, who had ended up becoming his wife in the original timeline. They then raced to the Flash Museum to figure out what else might have been altered as a result of their trip back in time. So, I understand that the series was trying to introduce characters from the comics. Nonetheless, I think the speedsters were a bit too many. Next, did Nora and Bart completely forget about events in the Flash Museum? Nora's worst fears were realized after a cursory examination of the archives documenting the Flash and his companions' participation in several wars that were kept in the Hall of Heroes at the Flash Museum. In addition to ensuring that their Uncle Jay would never meet their Aunt Joan, the trip to 2021 that the siblings took triggered a butterfly effect, which led to several events in their father's past that none of them could recall. These featured an incarnation of the trickster from the Arrowverse invading Tibet, and a corruption issue in the year 2047 involving Mayor Anthony Bellows Jr., the son of Mayor Bellows from The Flash Season 4 and Elongated Man. There was also a record of their grandpa Joe West, Jesse L. Martin, serving as the chief of police in Central City in 2016, several years earlier than he was supposed to become the head of the CCPD, according to their original timeline. And now, will Booster Gold remain an anonymous time traveler? In the year 2032, Booster Gold was recognized at the White House. Nora and Bart could not recall ever having heard of a hero by the name of Booster Gold, so they disregarded a Flash Museum record that stated that the hero was honored at the White House in the year 2032. This led them to conclude that the record was unimportant. Donald Faison. This was noteworthy in and of itself, considering their apparently exhaustive knowledge of superhero history. This suggests that Booster Gold, who was recently introduced into the Arrowverse in the Season 7 finale of Legends of Tomorrow, might have remained an anonymous time traveler, except that the siblings' trip in time changed his fate and made him into a public figure. Booster Gold was introduced into the Arrowverse in the Season 7 finale of Legends of Tomorrow. So, will Eddie Thawne make friends with Joe West? Eddie Thawne is encouraged by Nora and Bart to make friends with Joe West. When Bart and Nora first arrived in 2013, they quickly integrated themselves into the CCPD while pretending to be CSI interns. They were almost found out by Detective Eddie Thawne, Rick Costnet, but the Thawne siblings were able to distract him by offering to go on a coffee run. Eddie had mentioned that he was having trouble making friends in the police force and was particularly concerned about making a good impression on his new partner, Joe West. After Eddie made these observations, the Thawne siblings offered to go on the coffee run. Eddie was inspired to buy a round of coffee for the entire bullpen after a brief conversation about how coffee could bring people together. This led to him befriending Joe West, who eventually introduced him to his daughter, and Eddie dating Joe West's daughter. Many changes were occurring at a very fast pace. I missed the good old days when it was just the Flash, Zoom, and the Reverse Flash. Things were much simpler then. Next, what about Joe's romantic life? Flash's Nora and Bart had a more direct impact on another couple's romantic romantic connection when they assisted their grandfather in pursuing Grammy Cecile, also known as District Attorney Cecile Horton, Danielle Nicolette. After Nora witnessed Joe's first awkward attempt at asking the recently divorced DA out as his date to a New Year's Eve party, she suggested that he try approaching her with lilacs and crumb cake, which were her favorite flowers and desserts respectively. As a result of hearing this recommendation, Joe decided to send Cecile a beautiful arrangement of lilacs to her workplace. She later told Joe that while she appreciated the gift, she wasn't ready to start dating so soon after the gesture. She did mention, though, that whenever she was ready, he would be the first to know, thus laying the groundwork for the beginning of their romantic relationship in The Flash Season 3. So, will Avery acquire knowledge regarding the reality of time travel? Bart unintentionally ran into a young intern named Avery while getting coffee for the CCPD detectives. This Avery may be the Arrowverse's version of Avery Ho, who appears in the Flash comics. After Bart discovered that the dissertation she was carrying was about temporal dynamics and her theories of how time travel might be a practical reality, they immediately hit it off and became fast friends. Later, Bart demonstrated that Avery's hypotheses were accurate when he came clean about being a time traveler from the future and begged for her assistance in resolving the paradoxes that he and his sister had brought into existence. And finally, will the Royal Flush Gang be established before Barry? The Royal Flush Gang was presented to the audience for the first time in the opening episode of The Flash Season 8 as the first group of metahuman criminals to appear following the explosion at Star Labs particle accelerator. Barry Allen stated that he had never come across them because their first casino heist, carried out on December 31, 2013, took place while he was still in a coma as a result of being struck by lightning. It was revealed in Impulsive Excessive Disorder that in the original timeline where Nora and Bart remembered their father fighting the Royal Flush Gang, this was not the case. They eventually concluded that the telepathic Queen, leader of the Royal Flush Gang, had listened in on their discussion about metahuman criminals at a period when she was still attempting to comprehend her abilities. The realization that she was not alone prompted her to search for people who were similar to her at an earlier point in time than she had done in the original timeline. This resulted in the history that was depicted in the first episode of the 8th season of The Flash. Well guys, we've come to the end of the video. If you've got any questions, leave them in the comment section and we'll get back to you. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to drop a like and hit that subscribe button.